As I settle in for another evening of storytelling, I'm excited to dive into some of the most cringe-worthy, eye-opening, and downright ridiculous tales from the depths of Reddit's Amethyst Hole community. Join me as we explore the absurdities and conflicts that arise when humans interact with each other. And let's see if I can remain a reasonable person amidst it all. Am I the butthole for giving my number to another man when I have a BF? I am driving double my windows down. I see a car speeding up behind me. He pulls up to my driver's side and honks. I look over and he is talking. I couldn't hear him, so I kind of laugh and look back at the road. He continues to honk at me, so I turn and say, "What?" motioning to my ears so he knows I can't hear him. He motions at me to pull over. I thought there was something wrong with my car. I pull over. This man then tells me I'm so fine, he just had to get my. Just fine. I have terrible anxiety. I'm already nervous at this point. I laugh when I'm nervous, so I say, "Hello." He asks what I'm doing, and if I want to go drink whim, if he can take me out, etc. I tell him no, I'm on to work or RN. He asks if I want a shot. He has liquor. I say no. He keeps asking for my ATP. I'm shaking, my hands are shaking, and my knee is bouncing uncontrollably. I say okay so that I can just leave in the least uncomfortable way possible. In my mind, that was the easiest way out. He says he's going to call me RN to make sure I give him my number. So I did. He kept asking when he could see me again. I say okay. He finally says okay and puckers his lips at me, expecting me to kiss him. I say no, and he goes back to his car. I pull off. I look in my mirror to make sure he isn't coming the same way as me. He wasn't. I call my BF immediately to tell him everything. His reaction was basically, "That's weird, random, okay?" We hang up, and my BF texts me. I'm not gonna lie, that pissed me off. I say, "What?" He says, "That whole thing. What about that seemed okay? How would you feel if I did the same? You didn't tell him you had a boyfriend, and you didn't give him a fake. Men call right then and there to see if you are actually interested in talking to them. Or even just tell him you're not interested and don't want to give him your number." I just responded with, "Wow, I couldn't even wrap my mind around this." I explained that I came to him, my BF, as I was shaken and shocked at the weird situation, and that his response was to be mad at me for not knowing how to handle it. I expressed that I came to him and he made me feel like I couldn't. I tried explaining that I didn't give my number willingly. He says I could have driven off or done a number of things. He says that I wouldn't be okay with it if he gave his number to a woman who was clearly hitting on him, and that it's a double standard. He goes on to tell me women can be just as evil as men, and starts to tell me situations he's been in, women doing things without consent. I know women can do the same things. What upset me is he wasn't understanding me. I'm not saying I should have given my I just wanted to get out of there. I tried to end the conversation. He then says that I can't admit I was wrong, and shouldn't have done that, and that I can't even apologize. Asking how I think that makes him feel. Saying I'm not willing to acknowledge his feeling, because I feel justified. I don't feel like I have any reason to apologize. I just stopped responding to him. But am I the butthole? And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for refusing to give my family free culinary services for a party? I, 22 male, am a trained chef and recently graduated from a course in culinary school. It was a bit expensive, and my aunt and mom contributed to help me pay the fee there, relevant later. Ever since I finished and started to use my skills to earn some cash, my family has been treating me as some personal chef, which I didn't mind at all at first. It started small, helping out at small family gatherings, giving tips on recipes. But now it seems I'm actually expected to be doing real loads of work for free. Last week, my aunt asked me to cater my cousin's engagement party, which she invited 50 people, which was wild as she just approached me, while casually saying other professional chefs are too expensive for her. When I said I couldn't do it for free, she acted shocked and said, "We are family, and you wouldn't have this opportunity if I didn't invest in your skills." No. So, she went and spread the word around on how I refused to help her, and some uncles and cousins are telling me how I'm sort of greedy, and I should use the opportunity to repay the favor she did me. I told them I love cooking, but it's my job now, and I can't work for free. Now they're calling me selfish altogether. Am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole, but pay back your mom and aunt what they contributed, ASAP, as they viewed it as an investment that they would receive perpetual dividends on. Turn it into a loan you repaid in full to cut that off. If you leave it, they'll hold it over your head forever. Here's the response from OP. Didn't even think of this. I'll definitely take this as a loan and pay them back. 50 people is a big deal. Of course you should be paid. Your aunt should be supplying all the food too. My son is a chef. After he received his red seal, everyone and their brother wanted him to cook for them for free. It's one thing to cook a meal for your immediate family, but this is ridiculous. I told him that he spent a good long time becoming a chef so he could be paid to cook. Never work for free unless you want to. Don't let anyone guilt trip you. Your skills deserve respect and fair compensation. Family or not, it's a lot of work to cater such a large event. Set those boundaries now, or they'll just keep expecting free meals every time something comes up. OP. Pay interest on the loan. Pay even more interest than what you would have incurred on a personal bank loan. If possible, pay now. It may be worth your peace of mind to take out a personal loan to cover it, but if that is not possible, do what you can. Pay with a smile, not in anger or petulance. You don't want them to turn the repayment into a story about you being petty. Express gratitude and regret about not immediately paying back the money. If they say it wasn't a loan, but was a gift, say no, it's too much money to be a gift. Gifts don't come with strings. Nor does a true gift giver constantly point out the value of the gift and what the recipient owes them in exchange. Unfortunately, you were not prepared for their behavior. Responses going forward are that you are booked for whatever day they request, or that you are tentatively booked, client paid a small deposit to hold the spa day, or that you have prep work for an upcoming assignment, etc. You don't have to lie. Since you are always in career and business building mode, all of your time is prep time for future events. Here's the response from OP. I will definitely give back more, so there's nothing to say about it again. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for not going on a family trip because my room was given away? 2 months ago, I was invited on a long weekend trip with immediate and extended family. I'm the only single adult, and the rest are couples. I informed my sister, who was coordinating the trip along with her husband, that I would go as long as there were enough bedrooms for me to have one also. They assured me I would. They booked the house. I paid my share. And that was that. A few weeks later, my brother-in-law asked me if I would be okay sleeping in the bunk room with my teenage nephews and their friend. Being a 40-year-old female, I didn't think that sounded particularly fun, so I said no. I once again stated that if I were going, I would want to have a room to relax in and have privacy. Life for me has been very stressful lately, and I have very much been looking forward to having a peaceful getaway in one of my favorite locations. The trip is set to begin tomorrow, but I received a text from my sister tonight, saying, "Are you good to stay in the boys' room?" I immediately called and asked why that was being brought up again, and she said she must have miscounted the couples. It's bad enough being the one single out of a whole bunch of couples, but this happens to me on every trip I ever go on. It's frustrating always being placed in the living room on a couch, or in a bedroom with teenagers. I paid the same amount as everyone else, who will have a private bedroom-bathroom. So at this point, I just don't really even want to go anymore. Am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole. She must have miscounted the couples. No, she did not. Here's the response from OP. I can't imagine how she could have. Yes, it's a large group going, but not so large to completely miscount. Not the butthole. It wasn't a mistake. You're subsidizing their trip. Demand a refund, and do your own thing. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for refusing that my parents have a birthday celebration for my daughter? Me, 36 female, and my husband, 38 male, have a daughter who will shortly turn 4. She usually stays once a week at my parents' place. She is very close to them, and they like having her around. They are always very, too, willing to watch her and demand to spend time with her weekly, whenever possible. We found an agreement that she would sleep at their place once a week, which I have to admit is also nice for us, as it gives us some alone time. However, I have to stress out that the primary reason is that my parents want to spend time with her, and it's never an issue for us to do differently. This year, The evening she's scheduled to spend with him is on the eve of her birthday. We have planned a big party for her the day after, with all her friends and also grandparents invited. I have asked my parents to refrain from celebrating early with her, as me and my husband would like to be with her when she blows her candles. My parents strongly disagree. They plan to go out for dinner with her and have a cake at the restaurant. I'm not comfortable with that, and I said she won't go sleep with them if they can't do as we, the parents, ask. They've called us controlling and say we are hogging our daughter, that she can have a life outside of us. Am I the asshole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole. I guess people forgot how to read between the lines. The birthday is what catapulted you to finally put your foot down. This is not about the birthday celebration. Rather, it's about them feeling like they are entitled to parent your child when she's in their care, and blatantly ignoring your wishes as their grandchild's parent. Controlling. I would argue that you aren't controlling enough here, because parents of small children are 100% in control of them, or at least they should be, right? If you don't put your foot down now, imagine how it will continue as she gets older, and they start getting involved with school, signing her up for extracurriculars on their time, etc. I agree. She will not spend the normally scheduled time with them, and further, you should start getting ready for full-time school soon, and maybe the every week should go to every other week, heading towards once a month, once she's in school. Here's the response from OP. Yes, that's exactly it. None of the events are dramatic, taken in isolation, but there's an accumulation. They always want to see her more. They'd to school pick up every day if I let them, even though my husband's schedule allows for him to do it every day, and want to organize things for her like playdates. I agree it's nice to have such involved and loving grandparents, and I'm grateful for the help, but at the same time, I feel dispossessed of my role as her mother, and it's even worse for my husband. When I've addressed this, they say they totally respect our authority as parents, and they only want to do good for our child. But I don't feel like the first part of the sentence is true. Or we don't have the same definition. This isn't your parents being nice. This is them being controlling. You don't have to feel grateful that your parents are involved and loving grandparents, because the cost of that is you don't get to have loving or considerate parents. You are supposed to be their baby. They're supposed to care about you, not stop giving a fuck about you because you had a kid. You are their child, deserving of being seen as more than someone to make them grandchildren. You love your daughter. Imagine your daughter as an adult. Can you imagine trampling all over her boundaries and repeatedly ignoring her feelings in favor of your wants? Would you continue to do things to upset her, or cause her hurt after she told you how that made her feel? I assume you wouldn't. So why is it okay for your parents to treat you that way? This is the main issue right here. Beautifully stated. This is something you shouldn't give in on. Mike Smil is an absolute nightmare, and I've been cut out of decisions regarding my son, made by her and my ex-husband. Put your foot down now, and stick with your decision. If you don't, you will be fighting the same fight 10 years down the road. It's exhausting, and I finally managed to get Smil to understand that I am not playing around. Not the butthole. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.